What's up, everybody? Super stoked out here on the T8 Outdoors podcast. I got my good friend Andrew Kurka on the other line today. Super interesting dude. We got a lot of cool topics to talk about. If you guys ever want to go, like a lot of people hear the word Alaska and they think of like, oh, I'm in my wheelchair or I got my disability, and they think Alaska is like untouchable wilderness, raw, and if that's not the case. Andrew is a paraplegic and he's got an Airbnb up there. It's all handicap accessible. Place is super sick. And he's just a super interesting guy. But I'll let him shoot you his intro. So Andrew, thanks for coming on, man. If you could just give us a hand of what you're about.
Happy to be here, Derek. Thanks for having me. So, yeah, my name is Andrew Kurka. I got my start uh, as a paraplegic when I broke my back when I was 13 years old in an ATV accident. I was born and raised in Alaska, and being an avid Alaskan, the outdoors is really where the freedom is, where the nature is, and where everyone wants to be in the great outdoors. And I spent a few years in recovery and kind of finding my new identity and figuring out who I was, managing depression, managing the issues and the unusual circumstances that are disabled life. But I eventually came to a point where I got into ski racing and I became a really good ski racer. I actually ended up becoming one of the best in the world, winning a gold and silver medal. And I took that money and I built my bed and breakfast with it. And I built the bed and breakfast with the mindset that people with disabilities can come and visit, and I will take them into the great Alaskan outdoors, like what I had pioneered as an individual with a disability. And so I think that is good for an intro to help people get an idea and an understanding of who I am and just kind of the basics. Um, I'm an Alaskan that loves the great outdoors, that didn't let my disability get in the way, and I became a pro athlete in the process. So
Yeah, super sick. You guys heard that first. So I'm gonna guys I'll let you guys know how I got introduced to Andrew Cricket. So back at this, we're probably about 7 years now. Man, time flies, dude. Yeah,
that's
about 7 years now. I was kayak fishing down in Southern California, and I caught a really big halibut from my kayak, a Southern California big, and I posted it to Disabled Outdoorsman USA. I posted it to their Instagram, or I shot it to them. I tagged them, and they posted it to their Instagram. And this random dude, Andrew Kurka, he he messages me and he goes, "Oh, that's your biggest halibut? Why don't you come to Alaska and beat it?" And I'm like, "Oh, come to Alaska and beat it? Yeah, of course, prick. Yeah, like, who wouldn't want to go to Alaska and beat it, dude? Like, come on now." And
yeah.
and he goes, "No, seriously, like Google my name, look who I am. This is what I'm about, dude." And a week later, I had round trip tickets to Anchorage, Alaska, and from there, he put me up in his bed and breakfast, wheelchair accessible. It's got the log cabin's got a big ramp to it. Bathroom is accessible. The doorways are nice and wide. There's several beds inside, so you pick and choose the height of the bed you want to sleep in. And took me out fishing, took me out halibut fishing, and we got into um, I caught a really big halibut. I caught about like 110, 120 pound halibut that year. We're super pumped on that, and got into what they have up there is a rockfish, and it's called yellow eye. And I love that yellow eye. That's the top of my food chain right there, dude. I'll rather eat that yellow eye than halibut, than bluefin tuna, than yellowfin tuna. That yellow eye is super delicious, dude.
It's super good fish, super high quality, deep fish. They eat a lot of shrimp. They have that like sweet texture. It's a really good fish. And they're everywhere in Alaska, so they're easy to catch.
Yeah, super stoked and so after that I was going up and staying at his Airbnb for the past 7 years. Like I didn't make it this past year. I got sick, but every year after my original introduction, I went 6 years in a row, and just stock up on fish, and then you're in Alaska, dude, and you just want to. There's so much. You rent a car. That's the way to see Alaska. My first time seeing Alaska was from a cruise ship, and that sucked, dude. Like
Yeah.
you go to a cruise ship, and then they'll stop somewhere, and they're like, "All right, you got 2 hours." What? Like, all right, so you smash around for 2 hours, and you got to get back on a boat, and you spend another 2 days on all you could see is water. But so fly into Anchorage, Alaska, rent a car, drive up to the Palmer Wasilla area and make that your home base, and then just go from there, dude. Like we went glacier checking out, dude, and I got to hike on a glacier in my wheelchair. The Matanuska Glacier is not too far from your house, so got to climb with my wheelchair and that, and the guys were super stoked. They're like, yeah, we'll get you out there on your wheelchair, no problem. So like we had like ropes and all kinds of cool stuff. We're like dangling and like climbing up the glacier and just dude, it's just so beautiful up there. People say God's country. It's like you go up there and you feel small, like you feel really freaking tiny, dude.
Yeah, it's the last frontier for a reason. And so many people with disabilities think it's impossible for them to go do these things. But no, like adapt, overcome is a real thing. It's only impossible if you think it's impossible. And I understand why the mindset of people with disabilities think that it's impossible. You know, from the moment you become disabled, you're told you can't do things. Like you're not going to walk again. You know, these things are going to be hard. Don't do it. It's dangerous. Just stuff like that. You're going to have different challenges in life. But you know what? People are starting to realize, you can do these things. You just have to do them differently. You have to overcome, and you have to realize that it is possible. And that's what my B&B is all about. When you first came up, it was after your disability. You were still like learning how to handle yourself, and you are so much better now because of it, right?
Oh
I was
yeah,
like,
hands down. Yeah, I was like very, very like I went into my first Alaskan adventure fragile.
yeah.
Is what I could think of it like. Oh, like I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to. I'll take this really easy. And as soon as you ditch that mindset and you go full, you go balls deep into it, dude. It's so fun out there.
Yeah, it is. And I think so many people with disabilities have that same mindset. Oh, I don't want to get hurt, or oh, I want to be careful because I'm disabled. No, that's not the case. You still want to live. You still need to live. And sometimes it just takes someone to kind of push you into that life to help you realize it, to help you experience it, Now you're showing it to so many people all around. It's just like, okay, get out of your wheelchair, crawl your ass over there and figure it out. That's what life is. It's difficulty. Okay. The problem with a lot of people in the United States, like ADA accessibility, is like everything is expected to be kind of handed to you, but you can't get into nature. Nature isn't forgiving. Nature isn't kind. If you love nature, if you want nature again in your life, you have to get out and you have to fucking go for it. There's no doubt about it.
100%. Yeah, you have to ditch the fragile mindset, dude. And honestly, once you do, it's like you'll find yourself. You'll find who you are, and you'll find that's why I say on the edge of the precipice, on the edge of the unknown is really where life begins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
As soon as you get over that initial fear. But so like you had mentioned in your introduction, you got into ski racing. Can you dive into that a little bit? Like how you got into racing and like how you're doing it now?
Yeah, so what happened was after I broke my back when I was 13 years old, I was finding that new identity, right? So I was a wrestler before, and I was like a multiple time state championship wrestler, and I was a really good wrestler. And then after I broke my back, that was sort of torn away from me. I wanted to be an Olympic athlete. I wanted to be the best in the world at wrestling, and I was pursuing it with everything that I had, even as a young man. In Alaska, there's not a whole lot to do. You spend time outside and you wrestle other people. That's kind
Right.
of that's kind of what we do as we were growing up, especially for me, growing up on a farm in a Russian village, like is literally what people do. Like we fight and we hunt things, you
There
know.
you go, right?
Yeah.
Alaska.
So after I became disabled, I started pursuing that next thing in life, and I had a physical therapist that took me to the mountain, and this is when everything kind of turned around. From age 13 to about age 15, I was depressed. I was still trying to find that identity. I was like, I was still wrestling, you know. I had actually won a state championship wrestling after I became disabled. And like I wanted to get better. I had a mindset of I want to be who I was before. I'm gonna work as hard as I can to get back there. And there came a realization when I went skiing for the first time that that wasn't going to be possible, and that I didn't want that to be possible. I skied down the mountain, hit the bottom of the slope, and crashed my very first time. I fucking ate it so hard. And then I got up and I was like, that shit was so fun. I felt alive
Yeah.
right then.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was like the chairlift ride right after that. I realized, you know what? I can be a Paralympic alpine skier. I found out that like I could be the best in the world at this, that this is competitive, that there's actual sport behind this, that I just had to choose to adapt to overcome, and that who I was before wasn't who I was going to be. Who I was going to be was something better than I was ever going to be. And once I realized that, I started pursuing it with every single thing that I had. And, you know, I mean, I've had a 20-year long career that I could rant on about, but that was the moment that ski racing changed my life, helped me to realize, okay, you know what? I can do this. That, you know what? Hey, okay, I'm gonna start going snorkeling because I've always wanted to do that. You know what? I'm gonna start going swimming because I've always wanted to do that. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna figure out how to load my canoe onto the top of my car because you know what? If I can ski like this, if I can ski better than most of these other people are skiing, then there's no reason why I can't also go kayaking, why I can't also go canoeing, why I can't also be an independent individual.
Mhm.
Um,
Figure it
and
out.
yeah, it wasn't at the point that my disability defined me. It was at the point where I defined my disability.
Yeah, super, super stoked. So if you guys are seeing this or hearing this, you're already going to be on YouTube. So after the podcast is over, flip over and just type Andrew Kurka skiing and go and watching this downhill racing. It's like, how fast do you think you're going on these downhill racings? 50,
So
60 miles an hour?
uh we go about 70
Whew.
in downhill. Yeah, we go about 70 in downhill. The fastest I've ever been clocked at was 86 miles an hour, and that was actually being pulled behind a snow machine.
Got it.
Yeah, it was the Arctic Man race in Alaska, which is a Chinese downhill. It's straight as fast as you can go, and then you hook up to a snow machine. It pulls you to another ridge, and you send it. And I was clocked at 86 miles an hour. It's the fastest I've ever been clocked at. Usually, our max speed is somewhere around like 76 miles an hour. So
Yeah, dude, that sounds like so much fun, bro. Like
it's
I don't
it's
think I
fun.
want to like go through the learning process. It's like playing the guitar. Like I like the guitar. I wish I could play the guitar, but I don't want to like learn. I don't have time to learn the guitar.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Just the adrenaline rush, man. Because like from my past history, I used to travel the world snowboarding, and I know exactly where Andrew's coming from. Those where you just beeline it down the hill, you know, and you feel free, and it's like you're in control of your own outcomes, and it's allowed you to travel all over the world, huh? You've been to some sick places, dude, all over Europe, South America. Just
Oh yeah.
you ski for Team USA now, don't you? Right?
I do. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I ski for Team USA. I'm number one in the United States in my respective sport, monoskiing, for sure, by far. Uh, I think I'm maybe number one in this in my sport in the United States, and then just like in general, like
Yeah.
no one can even get close to me as far as competitiveness is concerned. Not to be like cocky or anything, but I'm currently top rated, and I'm top five in the world in four out of the five events that I compete in.
Sick.
So yeah, so I mean, I think I'm like number three in downhill, and number two or number three in Super G, and number five in GS. So I'm
Up there.
yeah, yeah, I'm up there. I'm not one of the best in the world for sure.
Yeah, it could any one of those when you're at that echelon, any race is you're able to get first place. You know what I mean? It's like
Exactly.
everyone like the gap from number one in the world to number five in the world is very, very minimal.
Yeah, less than a second typically.
Right.
It's yeah, like we're like typically hundredths or tenths of seconds off of each other. I mean, just this last downhill that I competed in Italy, uh, Santa Caterina, Italy. The top 10 guys were all within the same second.
Whew. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty sick, dude. That's a good group to be hanging
Yeah.
around with, fellow competitive dudes. That's why I like hanging out with people in the outdoors. You can just talk and chat, and everyone's with the same like-minded mindset. It's all you help each other grow too, and it's just that competitive desire. Like I shoot archery competition and 3D competition. It's like yeah, you're competing, but at the same time, you're doing something you love, and you're just sitting there with your boys and just
It's
growing.
something it's something that heals the soul, I think, for a lot of men because it's something we have or like even individuals with disabilities, because it's something we have before we become disabled. Like it's something that's inherent, it's something that's natural. Like just competitive nature is something that like fuels people, you know? And then once you become disabled, it's kind of like, okay, this competitive nature in life is almost like taken away from you. You know, it's like people stop seeing it for what it is, and people just start treating you like they're better than you.
Yeah,
You know?
lesser than, yeah, no,
Yeah,
100%.
lesser than, and they don't realize it, you know, they don't realize how demoralizing they are or that type of perspective. So as an individual, we're always and feeling individuality, you know, we're always fighting for kind of like that sense of equality in what we do and that sense of competitive nature, because when you're competitive with other people, you're on their same level, you're respected, you know, and you're not demoralized. And that's why I love sport, especially adaptive sport in general. And you know what the beautiful thing about my sport is, like alpine skiing, is I go out, I ride that chairlift to the top of the mountain, and when I push out, I'm better than 99% of the people that are out there, even though I'm in an adaptive rig. People see me and they go, "Holy shit, how the fuck is that possible?"
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I do it. It's not like, and you know, there's still people every now and then that are like, "Damn, I must be really sucking if you're beating me." It's like you don't even realize what the shit you're saying. You're talking to the best in the world at this, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And they don't mean it in a negative way, but that's that demoralizing mindset that people have towards individuals with disabilities. And
Ignorance is bliss.
yeah, 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 exactly. And to be able to overcome that,
Right.
to be able to overcome that and to know I myself, I'm better. I think that's where the competitive nature of adaptive sport really heals people.
Yeah, no, I get the same boat. Like whenever I see I'm at an archery competition, and I see someone in a wheelchair, I'll roll straight up to him. I'm like, like what's your top score? You start sizing people up, dude, and it's like
Yeah.
not even other people in wheelchairs, but like you said, like you're better than 99% of like the able-bodied skiers out there, and it's just like it's fun when like art like competitive archery is my love, and that it's just fun to talk trash with your friends, you know what I mean, and just try to one up each other all the time, and it's fun, it's all joke, it's all good fun in the end.
Yeah, it's a mindset, you know. It's different to be on the same level as other people, to have earned respect and to be sitting there on equal terms. You
Right.
know, that's what competition is. People who are able-bodied realize it as well. You know, that's why they do it. That's why we love football. That's why we love sport in general.
Yeah.
People love it because they see that and it gets them riled up. And we get riled up the same way. It's
Right.
just in different sport. It's respective.
Yeah. We all want blood. It all depends
Yeah.
on whose blood's getting. I
That's
don't
really
want
all it
my
is.
blood, but I want your blood.
Yeah, yeah. I want to know I'm better. That's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. So while we're in the skiing, and we're just touching in the we're in winter. people think, oh, you live in Alaska, Alaskan winters. Oh, are you living in an igloo? Are you, how is it just blizzards all the time and super, super cold and windy and gnarly? Like, how do you, as a person with a disability, live a winter life in the great north?
Well, I think it's difficult for a lot of people with disabilities, but you just have to find a way to overcome it. And it's just like anything else in life. It's like, okay, able-bodied people go out and they shovel. They have to do a little bit of work. You just have to be more active. You have to do more work. That's really all it comes down to.
Yeah.
And for myself as an individual with a disability, I use my mind a lot more. I'm like, okay, how can I figure this out? First big snow of the season. How do I figure it out? How do I take care of this before it ever happens? I try to anticipate and be ahead of the curve with all of that stuff because that just makes life so much more easier. Especially like when you have a disability, you don't have as much bodily function. So you got to use your brain function a lot more to figure out how to handle things or how to manage things. So that's the way I see it. It's not that you can't do it; it's just that you got to figure out how.
Yeah.
And it
It's
takes brain power.
like you said, like we can do most things that able-bodied people can do. It's just you have to adopt different logistics, and it's probably going to take longer to get it done, obviously, because like you're not like, but you get it done, and once you start using your mind and exercising your mind, like you said, it's dude, it opens up an infinite amount of possibilities because then you're like, because then you take it to this and then you take it to this scenario over here. Like, how do I use my mind on this? How do, and just exercising your mind because a lot of people, when they get a fresh disability, I'll speak for myself, dude. Like, there were several years where I was over it, dude. I didn't want to do anything. I was depressed, I was popping painkillers, medicines, pills, whatever, when you go to the doctor, they'll always have another pill for you, no matter what, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I got this. I'm gonna take this pill, and it's like, oh, but this pill's giving me a side effect. Like, oh, don't worry, here's this pill to counteract that pill, and it's just like, dude, it's so get out there, like my mindset is absolutely massive, guys. And like you heard from Andrew, like we got it on lock. Like the first time I went out there and we were getting on his boat, I went to like ask my dad and my friend Ray. I was like, "Hey, can you guys help me in the boat?" And Andrew just bit me, dude. He's like, "Bullshit! He's like, get your ass out of that chair." I'm like, what? Like, get your ass out of the chair. He's like, "You're getting in this boat yourself." He's like, "I'm doing it. You're doing it." I'm like, okay." And like I said, like I went into that first year like with like a like kind of like a fragile-ish mindset, dude. And then Scott, oh God, fuck, dude, I can't let this guy one up me, because I'm still competitive. And I got out of my chair, got my butt onto a bench, and then I got over onto the guardrail, and I got under the guardrail, and then I on the guardrail on the boat, and then from the railing on the boat, there's bars to hold on to, and then I just transferred into my chair. The next thing I know, like I'm in my wheelchair on the boat, and he's like, "Good,
Yeah.
let's go fish now." I'm like, "I like you, dude. You're my boat, bro." So yeah,
Yeah, right.
I really appreciate it every time I go out there, bro. You're pushing, dude, and like we'll go out there and we'll take the kayaks, and get those kayaks and go out on that little tiny scenic back lake and fish for trout. Yeah,
Yeah.
we took the kayaks and pushed the kayaks out there and plop my ass down out of my chair, get into the kayak and push off and do all that, and then get back into the chair. And it's just fun. It's like when you adopt that, like, yeah, it's gonna take a little bit longer, but I can do it mindset. Dude, you can do anything, man. And like it's just life opens up. So I touched on fishing a little bit. That's my favorite thing about you, brother. So let's hear like how did you, obviously you're a native Alaskan and you're wanting to be fishing still even after injury, but you got your own boat, you do your own thing, like watching you monkey around the boat, dude, and is pretty entertaining. So yeah, if you could just touch on, like The fishing you do in the boat and all that stuff, they'd be stoked.
Well, okay, so I won a Paralympic gold and a Paralympic silver medal in alpine skiing in 2018. And I took the money from those earnings and I built this bed and breakfast, or at least I got this bed and breakfast started. And you came and visited not long after that. It was still new. It was still getting started. I just got a fire pit and things were just getting going. And I had built a good portion of these cabins on my own. There's a few things, I needed to call and get some like specific equipment to be able to take care of it myself, like a lot of the framing and getting some of the walls up and things like that. I had a lot of difficulty on my own, so I had to have people come over and give me a hand with a few of those things. But I built these cabins basically myself. And I used the money from my earnings as an athlete to build these. And I built it and I was like, okay, I want to long-term rent this. I want a lifestyle. I want a retirement plan with money. And as I was doing it, I was like, man, how can I make this more valuable? I want to make this mean something. And it wasn't long after that I messaged you, Derek. You came up and visited, and that was really when the whole picture for me really started to take shape. I was like, okay, uh, I know what I want to do now. I want to show people because I've seen like how it made a difference for you, and you weren't the only one. Like that year, I took so many friends who are all had disabilities out fishing, and every single one of them, it changed their perspective. It changed their lives. All of them are overcoming. Like they realize what's possible and we get to do it in a fun way with things that we love. So I have this nice boat and then I expanded on this bed and breakfast or these rental cabins and I built them into a bed and breakfast. And I made it into a bed and breakfast that I take people with disabilities out fishing, hunting. I take them out into the wilderness. So I became a pilot, I'm a boat captain, and I do these just custom personal trips for people with disabilities at super cheap rates. And the B&B helps pay for that. And uh, it's something that I love to do. It's the piece of my soul that I get to take this business and this thing that I built, and I get to give back in that aspect. Uh, and that's how it all got started. Honestly, it was okay. I earned this money. Okay, I built this thing to earn this money. Now, how do I make it valuable?
Yeah, bigger picture.
Yeah, and that's how, and I love it.
Yeah, so if you guys want to highly recommend staying up at this bed and breakfast up in Alaska. I go up there the last no, I can't tell you when I go up there, you'll steal my reservation. I go up there in the summertime every year. It's my main and I'll take a new friend every year because it's just something people have to experience. But the name of the Airbnb is the Golden Standard Bed and breakfast or golden standard Airbnb?
Just Golden Standard B&B. And you can find it like goldenstandardbnb.com. You can also find me, Andrew Kurka, Kurka on social media, and you'll be able to find it from there. And I now have 5 cabins. It's on an airstrip. I'll be getting a plane. I have the boat. And adventure awaits. It's right there, and I don't mind having people come up and bring their families and their friends. If you have a disability, you want your friends and family there to. So I'll give you a great deal. I'll give people with disabilities great
Very
deals when
affordable,
they
very
visit.
affordable.
Yeah, yeah, and the big thing is I love to catch big fish, and I can put you on the fish, and I love fishing. Um, and there's so many different aspects to it. If you want to go flying out and you want to get to touch a glacier, land on a glacier in a plane or do whatever, I'm here to help with that. you know uh people with disabilities should get to have dreams in nature, should get to have dreams in the outdoors. I want to provide that. That's really all it comes down to it. And
You've
then,
done it for me, brother. So
yeah,
I'm a full testament to this guy's preaching gospel, everybody. So
yeah, happy to help, and that's what I live for.
but yeah,
Uh,
so like that's cool. So that pilot program I'm really interested in, and I was gonna do it last year, but ended up tearing my bicep tendon in my left arm, and I was like, like you got worry about that. But I really want to get into that. Can you touch on that? How you became a pilot? What's the is it a
yeah,
foundation or how did that work?
yeah, it's the Able Flight program. It's through Purdue University, and basically, it's like a 6 week program. You show up, and they help people with disabilities understand and realize how you can fly, and to get your pilot's license. They help you get your sport pilot and your private pilot's license, and then once you get those licenses, I mean, it's basically fair game for whatever you want to do. You can get your commercial and go from there, but they help you get your first like 100 hours or so, which is all you need and to progress. And when you do, you do. It's
Yeah,
fun. It's a cool program. It's called Able Flight. People with disabilities, if you want to get your pilot license, go
yeah,
do that. It's one of those things. It's kind of like it's a competition, but it's with yourself because you
right.
can't mess up and you want to be perfect because if you don't, you're gonna die.
Yeah,
The only thing worse than being disabled is being dead.
man. Preach, bro. Preach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
no,
So
so what's the exact thing? Able-bodied flight program?
it's just called Able Flight.
Able flight out of Purdue University. Yeah, you guys need to check that out if you wanna fly planes, become a pilot, learn how to, that's a whole nother world that you can immerse yourself in too. And it's just like you're con with that too, you could always get better. There's always another license to go, like
Yeah.
and you're flying your like I can't wait till you get a plane, man, and drop me off in the bush and hunt. I can go hunt some caribou for a couple days, dude. And
Yes, yes. I mean, honestly,
hopefully you come back and pick me up. So
I can take you hunting for all of that without flying you out there, but
yeah.
flying's way more fun. So we'll
No,
do
yeah, yeah. Well, I want the whole package. I want the full Alaskan package, dude. But yeah, man,
Absolutely.
that's super cool. So like Andrew said, he loves big fish, and every year we go out there and able to go fish. Man, we get on some big halibut, big rockfish. This last time I went out there and we were catching Alaskan cod and just toads, man. There was that one time where it was wide open for a good half hour. Every cast, boom, every cast, boom, 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 dude, and just grinding and just having a good time with your friends, whoever's on the boat. And like he said, Andrew's got this Airbnb. You check out the Airbnb if he's in town. Talk to him and might be able to take you out on the boat, fish, and all that stuff. He's more than commandeering just to bless you. And like he was saying, it's he's more into the big picture now too, and that's how I was too. My beginning of my outdoorsman career is like, oh, I want big heads on the wall and all this stuff, and now I'm just like, I want if I get food in the freezer, I'm stoked. If I get something on the wall, cool, but now it's like getting my friends and family and other people with disabilities out in the woods. I mean, that's the whole reason I started this podcast, is to make a voice, to give people different avenues to express themselves. And something I was just thinking about like 2 nights ago. Sometimes I wake up at like 2 in the morning and we're just like my brain's running with ideas and just start writing ideas down. And I'm like, well, why stop in the outdoors? So I mean, this is the first time I've mentioned this to anybody on a podcast, but I'm gonna try to bring the entire outdoors world into one single platform and just bless, just if you wanna get outdoors, no matter what it is, archery, hunting, fishing, skiing, basketball, tennis, pickleball, freaking professional nose picking. I don't care, dude. Like I want this podcast to be able to bring the entire disability world. So I'm going to work on that. But anyway, this is about Kirkus. So yeah, he's got his fishing, and then so as someone with a disability, how and then since you're on Team USA and you're skiing and you're constantly traveling the world, if anyone you guys got to follow his Instagram, it's pretty entertaining. How do you go about like how difficult is traveling for you? Like I know, so let's take a step back too. So, and Andrew, paraplegic, but you use KFOs, right? For
Yeah.
your legs. It's knee ankle braces that Andrew he stands up and he's got a crutch on each arm and he swings himself around, he monkeys around and he gets it done. So it's a little different, but yeah, if you could just touch on like how you travel and stuff like that, because a lot of people on this podcast don't travel, and I think it's a good thing, good something to break into.
Travel is super important, especially like within the United States. It's super easy because of ADA accessibility laws and rules. First thing you got to do is you got to understand your laws, you got to understand your rules, and that'll make you a lot more comfortable getting out and traveling because you will be taken care of. And I see lots of people who are nervous. Traveling is pretty easy. It really is. And you don't have to do it like how I do it. They are accommodating in many, many ways, but I do it because I prefer to be as independent as possible. Just like when we're out fishing or just like when I go flying or whatever it is, I use KFOs, knee foot orthotics. And what those do is they help me lock my legs because I don't have the strength to stand on my own. But when I use KFOs, I'm able to lock my legs in place that locks them straight. So as long as I'm able to keep my balance, I'm able to walk around. And then I use my crutches. I use four legs. So I basically always have 3 points of contact, or I always at least have 2 points of contact. So I'm able to ambulate, and it's able to be healthy for me. And it's able to, it keeps me independent, is what it does. Um, I'm able to get on planes myself. I'm able to get on to boats myself. I'm able to move around and manage myself. It's more tiring. It's harder, but it's not impossible. And I think most individuals with disabilities can do it. There are orthotics out there for everyone. I've seen you standing. You've used different methods of orthotics as well.
Right.
I can't express how good it is just for the mental aspect to be able to stand up and look someone in the eyes.
Dude, that's what I was just
I,
gonna say that. I was just gonna say that.
yeah, it's just life changing. It
Yeah,
really,
I didn't mean to cut you off, but damn, you hit a hard point right there. Like whenever I get in my shit, I forgot. Walking robot machines. Dang, I forgot. It's pissing me off. But anyway, yeah, just being able to, you're constantly sitting down looking up at people all the time. And then when you're finally able to stand up and just look someone in the eye, it's almost like, it's like a weird feeling, dude. It's like a kind of like an ecstasy kind of
yeah.
not like the drug, but it's like I'm looking this person in the eyes, and it's like your body feels different, dude. Like your brain and everything. You're like, oh my, like I like this
Yeah.
feeling. So
It literally being able to stand and walk releases hormones that we don't usually get.
yeah,
You don't get them as an individual sitting down, and that's just a scientific fact. When you do get up and you do start walking, it releases all of those hormones that are good for your body. Reminds you that it reminds you that you're alive, is what it does. And I love it. I think everyone with a disability should find one way or another to ambulate in
stand.
some way. There's technology out there. You can do it. Just
Yeah.
and you don't have to do it all the time. Just do it every now and then.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's a
so
sorry
good.
to interrupt you, but it's just like at your house, like if you can find the money, invest in a stand-up frame.
Yeah.
Like you pump the lever up and it stands you up, and that's just so good for your body, dude. Like it strengthens your bones, like because we're always like, if I'll speak for myself, I'm in a wheelchair, and all the bones from my injury down are a lot more brittle now because I'm constantly sitting down and I'm not putting that weight bearing mechanism on those bones to strengthen those bones and the muscles and the atrophy and all that stuff. So yeah, like you said, man, if you guys are listening to this and you can get any way to get like standing up, any I don't know, like whatever your disability is, you figure it out, you work it out logistically, but yeah, ambulate, get up there, man. But
Yeah, it's like what we talked about. It takes that physical effort and it takes that mental effort. It's not that you can't do it, it's that you're unwilling to try.
right.
You just got to be willing to try.
Yeah, and it's like when you're on your deathbed, you know, it's like, are you going to be thinking about all those, you know, I would so reverse. And when I'm on my deathbed, I'm going to want to think about the memories and the cool stuff I did. I don't want to be like, oh, what ifs, you know, the what ifs. I would
Yeah.
have done that. What if of this X, Y, Z? You know what I mean? Because that'll tear you up. And it's even like you know what I mean? You're gonna be on your deathbed, you know, like 5 years from now, you're gonna look back and you're like, dang, I should have done that. I should have the what ifs will tear you apart. But
You don't want to have any regrets.
no, it's bunk, dude.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. I'm super passionate about going gung ho. And like I've harped on this on several past podcasts too. It's like there's no such thing as failure, guys. Like I hate the word failure. It's either you succeed in your goal or you learn a lesson and you learn a different, like, all right, this doesn't work. This X, Y, Z, you know, I'll go around, especially because with disabilities and wheelchairs now, like you're constantly trying to figure out like, oh, how can I do this? How can I MacGyver my way into this? You know, finagle my way into this little situation and make it work. And it's, you know, like once you adopt that mindset of just figure it out, you know, instead of giving up, it's
Too
huge.
many too many people fear failure. You can't fear failure.
Yeah,
You
and
have
you don't even got to be disabled to, you know, to do that. That's just straight knowledge right
that's
there.
just yeah, that's just human nature, you know. We fear injury, we fear failure, we want to survive. But in today's day and age, we still have these base human instincts, but they don't fit our lifestyle narrative any longer. You know, everything is handed to us, everything is given to us. We aren't hardly ever put in these dangerous situations unless you're like face to face with a bear, you know.
Go to
And then
Alaska, you'll get your chance.
yeah, right. And then those instincts come into play. That's when you should listen to them. But otherwise, you shouldn't be afraid of pursuing excellence. You should never be afraid of pursuing excellence because otherwise you're going to stay ordinary and no one wants an ordinary life. Everyone wants to live an extraordinary one. And
Right.
if you don't live an extraordinary one, then you'll be faced with those regrets on your deathbed.
Right. And it's like if you want to start living an extraordinary life, the time is now.
Yeah. It's never
Tomorrow,
tomorrow.
not next week, not
Never
next
tomorrow.
year.
Yeah.
Right now. That's the one thing I hate about these like New Year's resolutions. Like, oh, my New Year, I'm gonna do this. Like, no, like it's New Year's every single freaking day of the year. Like,
Yeah.
you want a resolution, you want to start something, the time is now. Get after it, dude. I
Yeah,
love
that I think being disabled and having your life changed so drastically helps you to understand that mindset. I think a lot of people don't understand that mindset until they understand trauma.
oh,
Once
how
you have some
valuable it
form
is,
of
bro.
trauma, once you have some form of trauma, it all of that kind of makes sense for you.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. I can't harp on that enough. So through your skiing, you found a wife.
Yep.
Absolutely love her. My first year I went out to Alaska. I met Bergonica. Burr or Ver?
It's V. Her name's Veronica. She,
Veronica.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She's Spanish, so she spells it Bergonica because it's like a penis. It's a dick joke.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I could have swore it's Vergonica.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, but like we get out on this first year on the boat. She's out there hacking fish, throwing lines over like Andrew, you know. blessed her with a lot of wisdom to get her way around the boat. But an absolute amazing, amazing girl, dude. I'm super pumped. Congratulations on getting married. That's
Thank
very
you.
recent, dude.
Yeah, well,
I
I
wouldn't
mean,
have done it, but
it's 4 years ago now.
4 years? Shut
Dude, yeah.
up. Oh my
Time
gosh,
time
dude.
flies. Yeah, yeah,
I thought
time
it was last
flies.
summer. Like, what the hell?
I'm married to a lovely wife who helps me to run the bed and breakfast in Alaska, and um, she's a biological statistician, and I'm very lucky, very, very lucky. I met her through alpine skiing as well. Actually, I was one of the top 10 sexiest athletes going into Pyeongchang. She saw
Whoa.
that, shot me a DM. It's a whole thing. Yeah, if you want to see that video, for everyone out there that wants to see that video, you can Google that video. The shirt, my shirt off with my medals. It was for Cosmopolitan. It was something I haven't done since.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
say that.
but it's cool. Like I know there's a lot of people in the disabled world. You're disabled and you think, oh, I'm never gonna find my special somebody. I'm like, now that I'm disabled, no one's gonna want me. Da, da. And I was with that mindset. I'll speak for myself. I was in that mindset for a while, dude. And then they say, oh, people say, oh, work on yourself and the right girl will come. And it sure as gospel, dude. Work on yourselves, guys. Like, go to the gym, make sure you're physically good, working out, and like if you could work, get working and do all this stuff, but work on yourself and the right girl is gonna drop in. Like Andrew said, she DM'd him on social media and now they're married. Out of nowhere, Andrew's working on himself, living his life, doing his thing, and all of a sudden, here, ding. Oh, what's that? He's gonna looks at it on social media, boom, there she is talking, chatting. But super cool chick. If you can, I know you're out. So you're out in Mexico right now, aren't you?
I am in Mexico right now, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Visiting with her and her family. If you can tell her I said hi, I'd be super stoked. Hope all's well.
Yeah, will do. Yeah, we just went tuna fishing and pompano fishing. I sent you all those
Yeah,
photos.
killed it. You sent me some studs, dude. Some
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
big.
We caught 200 pounds worth of tuna, I think.
Oh,
Ridiculous.
man.
Yeah.
I love tuna just straight off the boat. Right when you catch it, slice into that and just munch, dude. That is such
Uh,
a good fish.
our guide here makes us fresh sashimi with the first tuna that we catch. It's pretty cool.
Dang, dude. That's was that anybody's first tuna on the boat?
It was my brother's first tuna. So it was my
He,
brother's birthday and Christmas gift. I took him tuna fishing. I have an amazing guide here. And I was able to get hooked up with him through my wife. And I was able to take my brother out. And this guy is the best. I tell you, man. Like every single time we go out, he takes me to the spot. There's no other boats around, maybe one other boat around and we always slay it. It's pretty cool, you know. It's cool to have friends like that, and it was so cool for my brother. Dude, my brother in the sunshine, just dripping sweat, face red, beet red. I live for those moments. I live for the
rod
moment.
bent.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, dude, I live for the moment where my brother's like, "I need help. Take the rod. I'm
Nope,
losing my grip."
nope. There you're on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some testosterone right there, brother. I like that.
Fun. It's fun. That's
No,
what we do.
that's super cool. But yeah, so you guys heard that, dude. If work on yourselves, live the best life you can live, single, and the right person is gonna find you. That's how I found my girlfriend that I've been with for 10 months now. Was just working on myself, getting my business plan finally implemented, working on that, working out on the gym, and sure as heck, dude. And well, I met her on a dating app, so it was just a simple swipe. But it was just when the time's right, the time's right, and you got to think like think of it as if you're the other person. Like, are you gonna want to date and marry somebody who's depressed and in their house all the time, not doing anything, not living life, just basically wasting away? It's like no one's gonna want that. You don't even want that for yourself. So if you guys can work on yourselves, find your happiness, find joy and peace in what you're doing, and then worry about that, dude. Because
Yeah, that's true, and I like to emphasize when it comes to meeting people as an individual with a disability, you don't you don't want to do it the conventional way that everyone else is meeting each other and hooking up and going out and doing things because your life is different. You know, you want to meet people volunteering, doing active things, going fishing, being outdoors, going to church, you know, any kind of active way possible. That's how you want to meet someone. Swiping is fine as well, as long as you go out and you do something
yeah,
active that you both love to do.
well,
That's really what it comes
commonality.
down to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you're gonna want to find something where you both can bond over, you know what I mean, and then grow through that. And I'll just say for my chick, like we had a couple things in common. She really liked the outdoors, and y'all know me. I mean, T8 outdoor speaks for itself. But yeah, and then now you know she wants me to take her hunting. She wants to start learning archery, and like it's just you'll find things to bond over. So if you could be the most interesting person in your world, then you're gonna find someone who's gonna want to be like want to
yeah,
do interesting stuff with you.
yeah. Discover your passions, become the best version of yourself that you can be with those passions, and then other people are going to want to share those passions with you. That's really all it comes. I mean, the same thing for able-bodied people. You know, it's just for able-bodied people, it's a different social aspect because as an individual with a disability, there's a lot of different nuances to
Right.
relationships. You know, it's
Yeah, and
not.
then there's a lot of stigmas too. Is like, oh, this person's in a wheelchair. Like I've had the girl I was hooking up with before my chick. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said that, dude. I'm gonna get in trouble now.
Yeah, maybe just don't.
I'm gonna edit that out. But there's like, like, oh, you're in a wheelchair, like, oh, I don't want to take care of you, like all this stuff, and it's like, no, like I got like, yeah, you may have to reach to the upper cupboard to freaking grab me some seasoning, but other than that, it's like just be the best you can be, dude, and then
You do it. Yeah.
yeah, and life will go around. So, all right, brother. So, um, that was most of the topics I wanted to talk about, but there's so one thing I like to I'm trying to emphasize on this podcast is different foundations, different clubs or whatnot that tailor to those in the disabled community where people can get in contact to and then go from there and have fun and find their window. So can you touch on the Barracuda Foundation? I know they're very big into helping you out that first year that I was there. And if any other foundations off the top of your head you could shoot out for the
Yeah, absolutely. So there's Able Flight for flying. There's the Barracuda Foundation for funds for minorities, individuals with disabilities, and for women in sports. That's really only technically for sport. They helped me outside of sport to build a ramp to get into that cabin, which was nice. Very, very nice of them. And then there's the High Fives Foundation.
right?
There's Disabled Sports USA or the United Foundation. There's the Challenge Athletes Foundation down in California.
Right.
There's um, Kelly Brush Foundation, which is like Northeast Coast. They help people get active, get recreational, get outside,
Yeah.
and
Totally.
do things. Yeah,
So if you
there's
guys are having a hard time keeping up on all this, I'm gonna put all these foundations in the underneath the podcast in the description of the podcast. I'm gonna start listing all these foundations.
yeah.
So don't
Okay.
worry about forgetting.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. So, those are some of the very, very important foundations. Most of them are to help people with disabilities get out and do recreational sports in some way. Like they typically help people get hand cycles, get archery bows, get outside. They these foundations are helping people to realize what's possible for them is really what it comes down to. They're doing what I do with fishing and outdoors and actions, but they're doing it with monetary assistance for people to get the equipment that they need. And that's really what it comes down to. And it takes a bit of both to be able to get what you want in this
Yeah,
life.
Challenged Athletes Foundation helped me out. They gave me a grant to where I was able to buy sled hockey gear, and I was able to start playing ice hockey with the local team, and that's a lot of fun. So yeah, these foundations, I'll list all these, like I said, in the description below. So if you guys are looking into them, we can have a lot of have the information needed there. So, but yeah, man, super stoked. It was a great conversation. Anything else you feel like adding to the probably three people who are going to hear this? But
No, I would like to say to share this podcast, share my B&B, share my social media to friends that you know that you think this could benefit, or anyone who might want to come up and visit Alaska. I live for the great outdoors and live for helping people with disabilities experience life anew. And so that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I want to do. So goldenstandardbnb.com. That's like Golden Standard Bravo, Nancy Bravo.com. And and yeah, Andrew Kurka, Kurka. Reach out and I'll take you guys fishing, flying, hunting, whatever it may be. Alaska's pretty fun.
have you ever thought about starting something like, I don't know, like the Kurka Foundation or something like that?
So yes, but
I would
not
work for
not mixed with ski racing, or sorry, not mixed with hunting and fishing, more along the lines of ski racing.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that was just so, I've been doing this for 20 years and I'm going to be retiring here in the next few years or so. And um, in the process of retirement, I want to make sure that that 20 years worth of knowledge and information of being the best goes to the next generation. And so I think my nonprofit or foundation is going to be focusing on that. And then I do work with Challenge Alaska in Alaska a lot, which if you ever want to visit Alaska and get a hand cycle or go outside and do unique outdoor things. Challenge Alaska is the foundation in Alaska that you reach out to do that. Like if you're coming up to my bed and breakfast and you're like, hey, I want to also go mountain biking. Hey, I want to also go do this. I'm going to send you to Challenge Alaska. And so I think it's a lot easier that if you're planning a trip to Alaska to research it because they have all of the gear and all the equipment that you're going to need to have your own adventures in the great outdoors. And I can be there to supply you with the fish and the fun and the suggestions on where to go. That's my job.
Yeah, you guys heard it there from the horse's mouth, dude. Super stoked.
Nay.
So, nay. So, at the end of every podcast, I do this, like I give all the glory to God on this page and the blessings He's given me and the life He's given me. So, if you have eyes to hear, eyes to hear, if you have eyes to see, ears to hear, if you don't, I'm just gonna say a quick prayer to end the podcast. So, you guys just give me a quick second and take your hats off. Lord God, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for the blessings that you've given through this podcast. Thank you for giving us Andrew Kurka and all his knowledge and wisdom, Lord, that he's blessed us with. I pray that those who need to hear this and see this video and help grow their lives and get out of the depression they find themselves in. That you would put the right people in the right avenues, Lord. So thank you so much for this opportunity and bless the day. Amen. Andrew, dude, I got a ton more questions and a ton more stories I want to hear from you. But yeah, we'll do this another time down the line, man, if you wouldn't mind.
Next time sounds good. Absolutely. Pleasure was mine. And for those hearing this, I hope it helped you. And I hope to see you in Alaska.
Sick. You guys heard it. Alaska, the great outdoors. If you want to feel small, just go to Alaska. I go every year. Mandatory. All right, brother. Appreciate you. Have a great day.